Yeah, I got some.
And that's sad.
This won't stain soon.
Just use the 2 strings that will stain too.
Hey,
Hello.
how's it going, kiddo?
Good.
So, what episode are we on? 17?
I defer to Jake.
I met a Spencer Barroom queen in Memphis. Tried to take me upstairs for a ride. But hey, lady, then she heaved me across her shoulders. Like to see who could do that.
Yeah.
Just can't seem to drink her off my mind. All right now. Be a honky-tonk woman. Yeah. Remember that song? You wouldn't. That's an old song. It's a long time ago.
16. Episode 16.
Episode 16.
Yes. You're right.
Speaking of honky-tonkin', you can never get enough honky-tonkin', I think.
What do you mean by honky-tonkin'?
Well,
Honky-tonk music?
honky-tonk music.
I feel like I've had enough of that. I've had enough of honky-tonk.
Blues?
Only so much you can handle in a lifetime, I think.
Really? I can't get enough. I can't get enough of your love. I mean, it can just go on and on. There's some great music.
It can just go on and on and on. I know.
Yeah.
And on and on.
Yeah, I love playing music and selling stuff.
Yeah.
And, it's a great combo.
You're pretty good at both.
Thank you. It's a really good combo. People still come to my shows. Nobody's started throwing tomatoes yet. Rotten tomatoes.
I love your music, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I wouldn't
Not
say
too.
that it's honky-tonky.
There's some honky-tonk.
In the slightest.
Some honky-tonk. Honky-tonk can be the attitude, the way you play the music. Not necessarily just the same bluegrass style, but I do love bluegrass. Your grandpa, his dad, your great-grandfather, my grandpa, and his 12 kids all play bluegrass. And I kind of grew up my first 6-7 years when we still all lived in Indiana and the Kentucky, Tennessee area, having bluegrass Sundays. Where all my cousins and my uncles, they were all excellent players. Some of them made it really big in the bluegrass world, like JC and the Huffman Brothers. They toured and traveled for a good 20 years together all over the United States back in the 60s and 70s. And we would spend at Grandma's and Grandpa's house. Grandma's a Shoshone Native American, and Grandpa was originally from Scotland, but they met somewhere in the early 1900s, something way. We're talking, they were born in 18 something, and they had a farm, and Grandpa would raise dogs. He would raise coon dogs, which were meant for raccoon hunting, but they were like hunting dogs. And he also played bluegrass music, and he was very tough on his kids about learning how to play. And my dad, as a matter of fact, said that he didn't play because he felt too pressured in playing, where some of his twin brother and his kids and my cousins, they all became incredible players. And so on Sunday mornings, we'd all be at Grandpa's house, literally on the back porch. The ice cream machine was going. Somebody was skinning some squirrels from the morning hunt for the food, and some turtles that they'd find, gigging turtles. And they'd be preparing that. And Grandma was making pancakes for everybody. And there was an old, I remember still today, out-of-tune piano on the back porch that my Aunt Rosemary played. And we had banjos and we had fiddles. And they would just, and moonshine. So
you're really painting a picture here.
Yeah, my grandpa did it. Yeah, that's the life they lived.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandpa would deliver moonshine earlier, when I was not even born yet. Before that, in the 30s and 40s, he would also, he had a little still, and he delivered moonshine to Chicago. And one of the stories that happened to my dad, your grandpa, and my grandpa, and my dad's twin brother, is that they went fishing to Chicago. He took the kids along on one of his really a delivery trip with some fishing poles in the truck to look a little more innocent, you know. He took the two twins, the youngest, those were the youngest out of the 13, 14. Didn't tell his wife, of course, my grandma, that he just told everybody they're going to the Great Lakes doing some fishing. Well, he had a load of moonshine underneath his truck bed there. It was an old, my dad called it, I don't know, it was one of those Ford A model trucks or something. They got caught, long story short, and the boys were only 7, 8 years old. And they all got thrown into jail for a week somewhere around the Chicago area. And they got one call. Even then, they had one call, even though you had to use a different kind of a phone than today. And the call was 3 days into this, and then my everybody's getting worried. You know what happened to them? Was my grandpa said, "Fishing's so good, we're going to stay a week." And that was the story for a long time until the truth came out at one point. Yeah, yeah. So anyway, that's where I think I have the love for bluegrass in my system. My family moved to Germany when I was 7 years old, so I only got to experience that for the first 6, 7 years of my life. But I do have memories of it.
You were born in Germany and then moved.
We were born in
there, and then
Germany
moved
at
back
the
to
military
Germany.
base, and then 3 months later moved to Georgia for a year. My dad finished his military service there in Georgia, Fort Benning, and then from there we moved back to the farm where all this happened. And then my mother, who was from Germany, just couldn't quite didn't it wasn't her. I don't know. She wanted to get back home. She was getting homesick. So and she didn't speak good English, and
She finally had enough honky tonk.
well, no, well, it was just
What
tough
happened?
tough on her because
Yeah.
she was missing her family. So we went back to Germany, and then we never went back. So I kind of missed out sadly, on growing up with my cousins to play more music, and didn't even know much about them as I grew up because we were so far away. In those days, a phone call would cost $300, for 2 minutes calling America. Because you didn't just call. It was once a year you called grandpa, and everybody got 10 seconds. Because it was just outrageously expensive to make an international call in the 60s. So, that's kind of my story. But I started playing music and loving, even though in Germany there was no country music and bluegrass, loving it when I heard it, not understanding quite why, because I didn't have that much memory of when I was a kid, when all that happened. But it's in my blood, and I do like when I hear bluegrass. It makes me happy. I wish I would have grown up more with my cousins to learn to really play it and get into it more. Sadly, my dad's twin brothers' cousins, my cousins are all passed by now. There's nobody left. But in their honor, I did write a song called my homegrown song. It's on one of my CDs. If anybody wants to look it up, at bigmoblues.com, and that's kind of the story that I just told in a song.
I like that song. It's a good one.
Yeah. So there's my whole thing about that. I don't know if anybody cares.
How did we get onto that? How did we get started?
I don't know how we got, because I was playing some, we're talking about honky tonk.
Right.
But I am performing Friday.
Where?
I am playing at the Chico Women's Club, which is a nice hall, holds about, I think, 400, 500 people. And we're going to be opening for Rick Estrin. Rick Estrin's a great blues band out of the Bay Area.
For half of a second, I thought you were going to say Rick Astley.
No, Rick Estrin.
Okay.
Rick Estrin and the Nightcats is, I think, the full name of the band. And I've played a few shows with him over the years. It's a great band, and he's a harmonica player. So all the people that like the blues with the harmonica, and it'll be a great show. And of course, I'll be there with some of my friends doing a 45-minute warm-up set. And Fulker's coming to play with me, Fulker Striffler, one of the greatest blues guitar players of our time.
I'd like to see Fulker.
Mm-hmm. So we'll be playing there from 7:30 to 8:15, just a short 45-minute set. So that'll be fun. April 27th, we'll be at the Paradise Performing Arts Center. It's a big hall. It holds about 900 people, 1,000 people. It's a great venue. If you've never been there, folks, I would say highly just suggest going. First of all, you're supporting the town that burned down because in this theater didn't burn down. So it's going to be on your birthday, on Gold Nugget Days, which is a big celebration in Paradise because Paradise, the biggest gold nugget in the world, was found in Paradise. It's a big nugget, bigger than this guitar. And so they celebrate that find once a year. They've been doing that for, gosh, I don't know how, it's 80 years or something. They've been doing this for a long time. And they're doing it again that day. And that night I'll be playing at the Paradise Performing Arts Center. And we're going to have the full 9-piece band. We're going to have 2 drummers, which is an unusual thing. We're going to do a couple Allman Brothers songs in just because we have 2 drummers. Yeah. So that's
cool.
kind of unusual. And I better get practicing on that because I just remembered it. Woo-hoo. But Allman Brothers stuff, I love it. And so I'm looking forward to doing that. I think we're going to do Ramblin' Man and Jessica. Those are the 2 songs we're going to do. So that'll be a bit unusual for us to do something like that. But that'll be fun. April 27th. And before that, you should go to see the parade, Gold Nugget Days. And of course, celebrate Miles' birthday.
Yeah,
That's the most important
for my
thing.
birthday.
There's a parade for his birthday.
Yeah, how nice.
And folks, I'll never forget the April 27th in 1991 when you were born, because my wife, of course, was highly pregnant, but we were still a good 6 weeks out from when you're supposed to show up, So there was really not that much concern. But I was sleeping in the living room, and as the belly got bigger, the space got smaller in the bed. We had a small bed, so I was out in the living room, sleeping on the couch. I didn't do anything wrong. That was just because of, the situation.
Which belly was getting bigger at the time?
Both of ours. And so anyway, your mom suddenly said, it was like early, 6 in the morning. I was sound asleep. She said, "Hey, get up." And I said, "Oh, it's too early to go to the Gold Nugget Days. The parade's not for a couple hours." She said, "No, get up. Baby's coming." So the water broke, and we were not prepared, and we ran to the hospital, and you were born on the Gold Nugget Days. So instead of the parade, we were in the hospital, which was awesome. And of course, one of the greatest days of my life. But so every April 27th, they celebrate your birthday up there in Paradise. It's pretty awesome.
Even since 50 years before I was born.
Even since 50 years before you were born. So come on up there. There's going to be lots of cool booths and gold stuff and stories and a lot of people. And they do a donkey derby, which is really exciting, right? Where they have these donkeys and they have a race basically up the mountain.
My whole life up there, I've never been to the donkey
derby.
derby.
Come on! You didn't go that one time when Greg was here and we all went?
Maybe that's the only time I ever went.
Yeah, I remember going then. It's a different part of town that we usually, we're doing other stuff when the derby goes on, but it's really fun. It's a part of history of this area. And if you've never been to Northern California or this area or Paradise for it's worth coming up and visiting. It's quite the place. And this time of year, folks, Northern California is one of the most beautiful places on earth. There's no question about it. The things that you can see in Northern California and the beauty of it this time of year when everything's green and the flowers are everywhere, it's insanely beautiful and the weather's perfect. So check out Northern California. Check out April 27th concert, PPAC, Performing Arts Center, and celebrate Miles' birthday.
The party for my birthday, yes.
Yeah. So
I figured we should talk a little bit about the StormBags because there have been a lot of StormBag things happening lately.
Yeah.
First of all, there was a rerun of our episode.
Yes, thank you, Shark Tank.
Thank you to ABC for giving us a warning that was coming.
Yes, thank you.
Because we had to prepare for another big surge of demand.
Yes.
So we've got all the orders out the door now, finally. So we were a little bit more prepared this time than the first time around. Yes, we were. Which is good.
Everything shipped, huh?
Yep.
And there's more orders coming in soon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, that was great. I mean, the rerun showed that people liked the item, that they wanted to have it in their house. Like I mentioned on the show, every house should have it, just like toilet paper. Every household should have a box of StormBags There's always something going to happen where water plays a role that you want to suck up or soak up or stop from going to the next room. Yeah. And folks, there's nothing better than a StormBag for that.
You know, we talk a lot about the StormBags being like an automatic sandbag, and people think of the uses that a sandbag would have. And of course, you can use the StormBag to build a wall like you would with a sandbags. Sure. But the real good thing about StormBags is like the way that we use it around the warehouse here, where there's a door somewhere, there's a little bit of a leak. Just shove some bags, literally shove them into the crack where the water's coming from.
It's a plug.
The water will make them swell up, and it plugs the hole.
Yeah, solves the fantastic. And in the summer, when you're not using them, it'll dry out. Just put the bags outside for a while, make them nice and dry, and store them somewhere you can use again, or just leave them in that hole because they'll be dry, and as long as they're not in the way, you can just leave them there. That's what we do.
Yeah, we've got them all over the warehouse.
Yeah, they work fantastic. Remember when we first moved here and we found those cracks, we went around with a can of foam just to try to fill all those cracks. But sometimes it's good to have some ventilation in the place too. So this works much better than the foam. Plus it will dry out and leave some air to go through when you need it, and then swell up and plug the hole when you need it. It's pretty awesome stuff. So facilities, anybody out there that works with any kind of facilities, big hotels, hospitals, big warehouses, anything like that, this is a great solution. It's also great for airport managements. Sometimes you have bad rains, or you have some exercise, or you have some fire truck doing this and that, and you need to divert the water from the airfields. They make a quick water diversion solution instead of having to have a bunch of sandbags. You have a bunch of sandbags and a pile of sand on site. Sand turns into a jungle. It actually starts growing grass out of it. I mean, you can't really store sand a long time unless it's somewhere in there in dry where it takes a lot of space, and who's got that space? Sand piles that I've seen that people want to end up using for sandbags turn into hard, grass grown over piles of in the way stuff. And then you have to get down and do the shoveling, and oh my gosh. So every airport out there, airfield, have yourself some sandbags. Every hospital out there, have yourself some sandbags. Every home, StormBags, sorry. Have yourself some StormBags. Every home, stock up with some StormBags. We're here to do it. We're here to make them for you. Will we not make them?
Yeah.
Hell no.
So if you work at an airport, call us. We'll get you some StormBags.
Do that.
Yeah.
Airfields, fire departments, police departments, road maintenance departments. How many times do road maintenance crews have to use sandbags? Oh my gosh. There's always something you have to divert while you're working on it. It's a manhole that you don't want the water to run down while you're working in it. You can build a quick diversion for the water to go in there. If you're if it's raining like crazy, you have to plug a big hole in the road. Water keeps pouring in there. And if you have to do quick work, use the StormBags. If you have to divert any water that's coming from a ditch that's been overflowing. Just the other day, I was driving along on a road where we live out there in the country, and this one ditch just keeps getting plugged up with debris when there's a bad rain coming down, from all the different orchards, leaves, and sticks and branches and everything. And then the water spills out over. It doesn't go to the culvert; it goes over the road and creates a real hazard. If the crew had to go out there, work on that, they could deploy a couple of StormBags while they're working on it, and then work in the dry. So there's so many uses for the StormBag. It's just insane. We haven't really covered them all in our advertising or our website, but folks, it's good for us. If you buy a StormBag, helps our business out. It helps a small family business out. We are a certified small business. You're not talking to some huge corporation here that you're worried about feeding their profits. We just need this basically for the survival of our employees and our small company. We're a very small company, certified small business here in California. We make the StormBags right here in California, ourselves in-house. It's a USA made product, and you're helping small business. And by the way, when you're done helping us, small business, help some of your local businesses. Buy local produce, help local manufacturers, support your neighbors, and help small business. That's really what, if A lot of people are worried about the turd hitting the fan. If something happens, they're all worried about what we're going to do. The world's going to, what you're going to need is local support. You're going to need a local small farmer that you supported this whole time to keep making food for you. When the outside food can't come in, when the roads are clogged or who knows what happens, gas runs out, trucks won't come in anymore. You want that local farmer to have been supported and grow his local farm and produce rather than buying from huge factory farms, because they're not going to be able to reach you. But this local farmer might be able to feed you and save your life. So it's always good to support local business. I believe in it 100%. I think it's awesome. Support your farmer markets and things like that.
Well said. I agree. Totally. Well, I think this is a short one today.
It's a short one today.
We're so busy with StormBags, we didn't have much time to
plan
for this week.
We're pushing the StormBag, and you can find it at StormBag.co. That's just CO. That is StormBag S. Let's do it this way: Sierra, Tango, Oscar, Romeo, Mike, Bravo, Alpha, Golf. Yeah, StormBag.co, Charlie, Oscar. So that way we have it clear out there, and you know how it's spelled, and you just go in there and order. Order your StormBags at StormBag.co. Order your StormBags at StormBag.co. I know they're going to shut me off here any second. I'm going to get in as much as I can. Yeah.
Peace out.
Nice exit on that one.